In a place where dark forests meet impenetrable swamps, there was a forgotten village. The old houses, gnarled by time, seemed empty and abandoned. But one of them, standing in the heart of the village, hid a story that would not leave anyone indifferent. The locals always avoided this house, whispering scary stories about demons to each other. According to them, it was a house in which the unusual and mystical merged into one. People claimed that inside someone or something was waiting for those who dared to cross the threshold. And so one day, a young scientist named Jackson decided to test the veracity of these stories. He was a passionate lover of all things mysterious and unexplained, and the decision to dig into the secrets of the old house aroused in him a fierce interest. Jackson arrived in the village equipped with cameras, recording ultrasonic waves and other anomalous phenomena. He planned to spend the night inside the house to uncover its secrets. As darkness fell, he made his way inside, holding the camera in his hands and inhaling the smell of antiquity and oblivion. The first hours passed quietly. The video footage showed nothing unusual, and Jackson began to doubt the veracity of the local legends. He wandered through the deserted rooms, recording his thoughts and feelings on a tape recorder. But when the clock struck midnight, suddenly everything changed. The sounds of banging and cracking of the old walls changed to a quiet whispering that seemed to insistently reach his consciousness. Jackson stopped, listening intently, and realized it was someone's voice. A voice that whispered his name. The scientist's heart hammered harder. He pressed his hand to his chest, trying to calm himself down. The room was cold despite the warm weather outside. Shadowy figures began to slowly appear on the walls, though there was no one else in the room but Jackson, and no object could have formed those shadows. Jackson took a cautious step back, trying to see what was happening. It was at that moment that a shadow in the corner of the room caught his attention. This shadow was not like all the others. It had a distinct shape that resembled the silhouette of a person. At first it seemed to be just a play of light, but as Jackson looked closer, the shadow became more and more overwhelming and real. Fear gripped him as the shadow began to draw closer. It was something unknown, a creature beyond his comprehension. Terrified, Jackson rushed to the door, but it slammed shut in front of him with a clatter. He was trapped inside with this dark creature that approached him like a demon from his worst nightmares. The shadow merged with the surrounding darkness and took the form of a man. The demon's face was inhuman, with eyes glowing with a scarlet light. Jackson's breath hitched as the demon whispered his name, calling him to the dark interaction. Jackson asked the demon who he was, but he remained silent. This demon was the guardian of long-lost secrets, the keeper of terrible stories forgotten in the ages. He allowed his victims to look into the abyss of fear and experience the mystical powers that humans had long forgotten. The hours dragged slowly as the demon led Jackson through the dark corridors of his own fears. With each step, the explorer felt his mind sinking into the abyss, discovering new stories that made him part of this place's horrifying past. As the first rays of light made their way inside the house, Jackson was outside. His camera and records were in place, but his mind remained clouded by the dark memories of his encounter with the demon.